Yesterday's, I think I forgot to turn on the sound. All right. If two sides of a triangle are not congruent, then the larger angle lies opposite the larger side. So let's say we have 10, 9, 8. Now I will purposely not draw these to scale. So if you look at the picture and say, oh, well, that segment looks smaller, like this is smaller than this, then you're going to get it wrong. I will purposely do it wrong, not to scale. All right, where's the largest side? 10. 10 is the largest side. That's large. Who's medium? 9's medium. Who's small? 8 is small. All right. We talked about this before, and you all did this well. What angle is opposite side 10? So angle C is the large angle. What is opposite the medium side? What angle's opposite this side? Sydney? What angle? A. So angle A is medium. And what then is opposite the smallest side? There's your small side. What angle's opposite? Kayla S? Angle B. So you have to put in order the angles of a triangle. Now you have to pay attention to the directions. If they say large to small, then you would say C is bigger than A, which is bigger than B. Okay? The larger quantity is next to the fattest part of the sign. The smallest is next to the point. So C is bigger than A is bigger than B. Large, medium, small. That is one concept today. And the other concept is reversed. Take this and reverse it. If two angles of a triangle are not congruent, then the larger side lies opposite the larger angle. Now this for you all is going to require a little bit of work. And I'll explain. Did I have every single side on this triangle? Okay. The only way I can order my angles is if I have all three sides. What's missing in this triangle? And in order to order my angles, what do I need? All three of them. Carlin, how do we get this angle? Okay, do I have to see this work? Yes. So 180 minus 125, 8, 7, 10 is 55 degrees. Only after you have all three angles can you start to order them. All right, so Tommy, give me the, let's do small to big. Small to large. What's the smallest side? W's my smallest angle. What's my smallest side then? Is WY opposite 40? What's opposite 40? AY is the smallest. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to flip the sign because the AY small, it's at the point. All right, who's medium? Jennifer? 55. What's opposite 55? What side is opposite 55? Okay, not angle, but side. Yes. So WA is your medium. And it's going to be smaller. What's your largest angle? Caitlin? 85 is your largest angle. What side is opposite 85? Y is a point. Okay, 55 represents an angle. We need a side, so we're going to need 2 points that connect to form a side. Yes, WY. Here's my angle. This is going to be the side opposite. 55, that's going to be the side opposite. 40, that's going to be the side opposite. And that is all I'm going to teach today. But we're going to do more examples. Those are your 2 concepts. That finishes up this unit. Okay, so we're telling you that H, you see that sign? This means H is big. This is medium. This is small. So I need to know if my angle H is the biggest, what side is opposite H, Jeff? What's opposite H? Yes. So AT is going to be bigger than. What side is opposite A, Bree? Good. And then what side is opposite angle T, Leslie? Opposite angle T. HA. That, yes. I try to spell words if I can. Don't know if you all noticed that. All right, so now I'm telling you sides. And it's all changed, so ignore what we just did up here. HA is greater than, so what's opposite HA? What angle? HA, opposite HA is angle T. Samantha, what's opposite side HT? A. And what side is opposite AT, McKenna? What side is opposite AT? Oh, okay. Yes, H, because those are sides, so we're looking for angles. So my guess is maybe the book gave it to you this way, and then they asked for the angles. But they are going to eventually give you numbers. All right, now list the sides in order from least to greatest. Brittany, what's our first issue? Before we... Right, we cannot do that unless we know this angle. So how am I going to find that angle, Kayla? E? So 20 plus 111 is 131. All right, and then what do I do from here, Travis? I'm looking for N, and I've added those 2 together. Pardon? Is it? There you go. So 180 subtract 131. Now, you really need to stop using calculators because half your EOC is non-calculator. So that's going to be 49. If you don't, you're not going to remember your arithmetic. So I would try to do my homework without a calculator, then go back and you can check to see how well you did. All right, least to greatest. MJ, what's the smallest side? MN is going to be smallest, okay? What's my medium one, Eric? Good. All right, and what is my largest one, Becky? PN, and it just so happened that my picture, okay, was my picture truly drawn to scale? That was definitely the largest, but look, MN is smaller than PM. So will you look at the actual lengths of those sides, or are you going to pay attention to angles? Pay attention to the angles. I will purposely draw it incorrectly. All right, now let's look at this one. Do you have a picture? What are you going to do? If you don't draw a picture, then you most likely are going to get it wrong. For me to do this, I would have to draw a picture. All right, so I'm going to label a triangle. What is it? DEF? D, that's a D, not a P. DEF. All right, we're going to put 5 on DE, we're going to put 8 on EF, and we're going to put 6 on DF. All right, Karen, we want to do greatest now to least. So I know my sides. What is my biggest angle? Angle D is opposite 8, which is the largest. What's my medium angle? McKenna? E. Hope, what's my smallest angle? Because it's opposite our 5. And does it make sense that if you've got a really wide angle, that whatever's connecting that has got to be bigger than what's connecting a smaller opening? Intuitively, does that kind of make sense? All right, and I think that is, oh, now we're going to go here. All right, so I think we've got time for you to do this. All right, in a perfect world, we would have time to do this all the time. So what I want you to do is I want you to do problem 1. Same thing, but look, it says list the side lengths from greatest to smallest. So we can't do anything until we find out what this angle up here is, correct? How do we find this angle? We add 105. Do I have to see this work? 105 and 62 is 167. And what do we do with our 167? Subtract it from 180 so that we borrow from the 8, make that a 7. That's 10 that we borrowed. 10 plus 0 is 10. 10 subtract 7 is 3. 7 subtract 6 is 1. So this is 13. What are we going to do in this triangle? 120 plus 35 is 155, and then what? 180 minus 155 is 8, 7, 10. How about 25? So what I want to focus on right now is one triangle. You cannot look at both of them at the same time. So let's look at sides. In this triangle, we want greatest to smallest. What do we know? What's the biggest side? AB, because it's opposite the what? 105. Okay, what's medium? AC, because it's opposite the what? 62. And what is my smallest side? Opposite 13 is CB or BC, doesn't matter. All right, so now we're going to go green, and we're going to list in order these sides. Then we're going to look to see how if we can connect these. I'll see if I wrote a very good problem or not. So here, what it's greatest, so what's my biggest side here? In green. KC, because it's opposite 120. Who's medium? Pardon? BK. BK is medium. And then who's the smallest? BC. All right. I don't think I did a very good job. Yes? Well, if I had done this, if I'd done a nice problem, what should have happened, list the side links from greatest to smallest, is BC should have been the biggest one here. If BC had been the biggest one here, what if I had switched, let's switch this. Let's make this 120, and let's make this, what was that, 25? Let me switch that. Okay, so let's redo this one. Who's biggest now? BC. Who's next biggest? BK. And who's next biggest then? Okay, CK. So now, if AB is bigger than AC, which is bigger than BC, but look, is BC the biggest here? So if I take this, oh, it's all together. Does that match? What's the smallest segment? CK. If I had written a better problem, do you see that? Which segment is the smallest in the diagram? CK. So here we've listed the side links from greatest to smallest. How did I do it? I did one triangle, then I did the other triangle, and hopefully the smallest here is the largest there, at which point then you can put BC on top of BC and you've got your string. There's the absolute largest, there's the absolute smallest. And I'm finished. So I want to make sure, let's go back to our warm-up. I want to make sure that you have this done before you leave because we have that time. Anybody have any questions on the project since I've got about 8 minutes? If you come in tomorrow for me to give you feedback on your project, you must have the rubric. Because I want to mark for everything you have right, I want to go ahead and mark the rubric so that when I give it back to you and you turn it back in, I don't regrade what I've already graded. You with me? So I'll only focus in on the stuff that you needed to fix. What's the relationship between these two angles right there? No. They don't form two separate V's. Isn't that a T? What formed the T? How many degrees is it from here all the way over to there? Yeah. So if this is 145, how do you get 6? Right. Then will you be able to write an equation because it's going to require an equation because those are x's. Okay, ultimately you're finding 3. Which angle, 1, 4, or 6 is 3 equal to? 1, why? Corresponding angles, correct. So the parallel lines came in at the end. You can't. You always do the next day. Not on quiz grades. Investigations are quiz grades.